Hey everybody, today is day 3 of virtual school. We have made it this far. I don't know about you, but I've been watching a lot of TV, doing a little painting, doing schoolwork, and trying to get caught up on my technology. Today we're going to have kind of a light lesson. We're going to do perimeter, area, and volume, and I think everybody will like it. I did hear, I was just watching the news. It's late. I think it's like 12:30. I was just watching the news, and I don't know if you heard, but Netflix just announced that they're going off the air as of tomorrow morning. April Fools. Thank heavens, because I know a lot of us have been watching Netflix every day. I know I have. I've been getting caught up on all my shows. All right, so today we're going to do perimeter, area, and volume. Thought we deserved a little break. So this is one lesson everybody joins, beginning, old students, everybody. Let's start off with perimeter of a rectangle. So when we do perimeter, we always add up all the way around. So if I have a 5 here, I can assume that this is a 5. And if I have a 3 here, I can assume that this is a 3. And perimeter, we always add, so we would just say 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. And hopefully you would say that's 16. And I should have put feet or centimeters or something. We'll say this is 16 centimeters. So that's the distance around the shape. If I have a square, what do we know about squares is all sides are equal. So if this is 4, I can assume that this is 4, this is 4, and this is 4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, or 4 sides that are 4 times 4, will give me also 16 centimeters. Now here we're going to practice adding our decimals because we just did a lesson on decimals. So with perimeter of a triangle, I would add, just like I did here with my rectangle and square. Since we're doing perimeters, we're going to line up our decimal. Our decimal's lined up even in my answer. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Carry my 1. I've got 4. 6, it makes it 10. 19. So I have 19.1 centimeters for my triangle. Kind of have that close. Hopefully you got that. Okay, so perimeter, we add all the way around. Area, different. Area of a rectangle, the formula is length times width. So I'm going to take whatever my length is and times it by my width. So for instance, if I have a 5 here and a 3 here, I'm going to say 5 times 3 is 15. And let's make this feet. And we're going to say 15 feet squared. Whenever it's an area question, it's always going to be squared. Don't worry about in the answer key, though, when you go to do the test. You don't have to put that, or you can write the word out. You could say 15 feet squared, or just SQ. Okay? Now, let me ask you this. If I tell you that the area of this rectangle, the whole inside surface area, is 32 feet squared, and I tell you, hey, the length is 8, and I want to know what the width is, well, I know that length times width gives me area, so 8 times something gives me 32. I can figure out the missing side by saying 8 times 4 is 32. So that means that the width, if the length is 8, the width is 4. That's more like the way the GED might ask you a question. Okay, here we have a square. I'm told that the area is 64. So in theory, I'm like given the answer, and now I have to figure out what the length is. Well, we know that length and width are going to be the same because it's a square. So once I get one measurement, I have them both. I know that to get square, I've got to think what times what will give me 64, where the numbers are exactly the same because squares, all sides are the same. So hopefully you've decided that that would be 8. So 8 feet by 8 feet. Now, let's go back and talk about a rectangle. If a rectangle and you were figuring out the area, once again, you'd say length times width. You'd say 10 times 6 is 60. Well, what if I decided to cut this in half and throw this part away? So now you only have half of a rectangle. Well, you have half of 60. Well, half of 60 is 30. Well, what you just did was you just did the formula for a triangle, because look what's left. Area of a triangle is a half times base times height. My base is 10. My height is 6. If you say 10 times 6, you get 60. And then you cut it in half and you get 30. And the last thing we're going to look at is volume. Volume of a rectangular shape is length times width times height. So here I'm going to take my length, which is 6, my height, which is 3, and, my width, which is 3, and my height, that's 4, and I'm going to multiply them. So I'm going to say 6 times 3 times 4. Well, I could do 6 times 3 is 18 and then try to figure out what times 4 is, but I don't know that off the top of my head. But I do know 3 times 4 is 12. And I know 12 times 6 is 72. Now, volume is always cubic. So it could be written 72, let's do this one here, 72 feet cubed. Or it could be written 72 cubic feet. So that is our lesson for today. I have like a 10, 12 question quiz for you. Make sure you go over into the assignment section. If you go to the top of the computer in Teams, you'll see an assignment section. If you click on the assignment, you will see this. Also, I'm getting ready to put up a challenge, an April Fool challenge. First person that wins puts the information in the post correctly, you're our April Fool challenge winner today. Have a good day.